We've ranked all the Doctor Who introductory episodes. From the classic era to the modern revival, some introductions have left a lasting impression. Let's count down our top 5 Doctor Who introductions of all time. Starting with Rose at number 5. Of all the Doctor Who episodes, Rose's surely had the most riding on it. Doctor Who had been off the air for 16 years, and few people believed that it could still work in the modern age of CGI and more sophisticated audience expectations. However, Christopher Eccleston blew viewers away with his northern tones, battered leather jacket, and quick wit. After Spearhead from Space, his introduction in Rosa must surely be one of the strongest of all the Doctor's debuts, and the episode was seen by a staggering 10 million people. Indeed, so popular was this opening story that 2 further series and a Christmas special were commissioned solely on the back of its performance, and this was before Episode 2 had been transmitted. Because of this, one could make the case for Rosa's being one of the most successful Doctor Who episodes of all time. Had it failed, the return of Doctor Who could have ended in 2005. At number 4 is The Power of the Daleks. And speaking of the Daleks, the next of our Doctor Who episodes faced a Herculean challenge. This was the first ever regeneration story. The idea of swapping out the Time Lord for a completely different version had never been tried before, and there was no guarantee that audiences would take to Patrick Troughton's portrayal. This unease and suspicion was mirrored in the adventure, with companion Ben echoing the audience's suspicions and uncertainty about this strange new man who was claiming to be the Doctor. At the same time, the production team tried to appease viewers with the return of the ever-popular Daleks, who, this time, was scripted by the experienced Doctor Who writer David Whittaker, as it transpired. The Power of the Daleks turned out to be one of the greatest Doctor Who episodes of all time, and became something of an instant classic. Sadly, it is currently missing from the BBC archives, but it still exists in audio form. Today, viewers can also enjoy an animated version which utilizes the original soundtrack. At third place is An Unearthly Child. William Hartnell may have had a blank slate in the very first of the Doctor Who episodes, but that's not to say his journey was easy. He and the production team were confined to a tiny studio in Lime Grove. There was little faith in the show at the BBC. Verity Lambert, the producer, was new and relatively inexperienced. In fact, even when the first of the Doctor Who episodes had been shot, this wasn't the end of the story. The crew were ordered to film the whole thing again, and the script had to be reworked. Some of the notes specifically addressed the Doctor's character, with the BBC feeling that his persona was too grumpy and acid. As such, when the serial was reshot, the Doctor was portrayed in a somewhat softer, more eccentric light, even if he did try to murder a caveman in Episode 3. It wouldn't be fair to say that Doctor Who was an instant success, but it got off to a solid start. The real success would come a few weeks later with a script from Terry Nation and the arrival of the Daleks. In the 4th spot, we have a classic from the second Doctor's era, Spearhead from Space. The next of our Doctor Who episodes came at a time when the series was fighting for its life. Series 7 was something of a hasty last-minute commission because the BBC couldn't think of a show to replace it. Had they come up with a suitable Doctor Who alternative, the series may have ended with the second Doctor. Plus, like many Doctor Who episodes, Spearhead from Space was plagued with production woes, and strike action almost halted this story in its tracks. But not to be deterred, the BBC decided to proceed anyway and shoot the entire adventure on location, on a film camera. The result was stunning, and made Spearhead from Space look more like a Doctor Who movie than a Saturday tea time adventure. It is widely regarded as one of the greatest Doctor Who episodes of all time, introducing both Jon Pertwee and the terrifying Autons, in a script from one of the series' most popular writers, Robert Holmes. As such, Spearhead from Space could be considered one of the most robust starts to any Doctor. Before we unveil our top pick for the best introductory episode in Doctor Who, we would like to invite you to join us for a live episode with the legendary Sophie Aldred, aka Ace McShane, on October 11th. We'll be discussing her iconic role, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive giveaways. Don't miss this chance to connect with one of the most beloved Doctor Who companions. Register now through the link in the caption. Back to our list. Here's our honorable mentions. The TV movie.
These shoes! They fit perfectly. Yes.
The Woman Who Fell to Earth. Robot.
I think your enemies are homegrown, Brigadier.
Drum roll, please. The best Doctor Who introductory story is The 11th Hour. At the time, showrunner Stephen Moffat referred to The 11th Hour as the most scrutinized TV episode of his life. Indeed, few Doctor Who episodes have garnered such interest, save for the aforementioned Roses in 2005. It featured a new Doctor in the shape of Matt Smith, a new companion in the shape of Karen Gillan, a new plot arc in the shape of a crack, a new TARDIS, a new title sequence. It had everything. This was also one of the first Doctor Who episodes to make it big in the United States, and for many American fans, The 11th Hour was their first exposure to the show. It triggered a surge of popularity for Doctor Who stateside, and indeed around the world, something which would prove significant when the Time Lord celebrated his 50th anniversary just a few years later, breaking a record for the world's largest simulcast. It also left an indelible mark on the consciousness of Who fans. Fish fingers and custard would never be viewed in the same way ever again. Did you like our list of the top 5 Doctor Who introductory episodes? Did your favorite Whovian story make the cut? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more Doctor Who content.